this is the big story, and the big story tonight is the county of Nairobi and the mess that it is currently in. The Speaker of the County Assembly, Beatrice Elachi, being impeached, being reinstated by the courts. There are some MCAs trying to remove her forcefully earlier today. And the impeachment motion has been citing violation of the Leadership and Integrity Act, as well as the Powers and Privileges Act of 2017 as some of the issues that she has been impeached on. She has been talking to the media, trying to address some of those issues. Listen.
So, mtu akija akikwambia abuse of office, unashindwa wewe ulienda training moja, umeleta certificate, ukuleta tu yangu nilileta mpaka ya organization kwamba tumeparticipate kwa hii shule, tumefanya hii training. Swala la pili wanauliza ni kwamba nilienda na first class Dallas. Sasa hiyo nikasema sitaki kuzungumzia sana. Unajua ukiwa na matatizo yako ya kimwili uzungumzi sana. Na hii kuanza hapa ilianza Senate.
Mr. Kirago, let me begin with you. You are the mover of that motion. What the Speaker said about her having a medical condition that she has to fly first class, does she address any of your core issues in that impeachment motion?
I don't think so, because I've taken my time to ask around the county assembly and I did not find any indication or anywhere she had indicated that a doctor's report that indicated that when she travels she needs to use first class. However, I think it is interesting because I even remember when President Kibaki had a problem with his leg when he had an accident. He never used first class. These are state resources. This is money. And she is a frequent traveler. I think she has traveled close to 4 or 5 times. And it is only the trip to Dallas that she decided to use first class. She's traveled to Dubai, she's traveled to other destinations, and she never used first class. So in my opinion, I think as she was getting used to the seat of being the Speaker, she was now abusing the fact that she can make a decision which class of travel she can use.
All right. Mr. Motok, let me come to you and let's talk about this issue that, let me play the devil's advocate here. There are people who are saying that because of the nature of that motion, the matter, it seemed to be forced or, speeded up. I mean, you had to change sections of the standing orders to be able to impeach the Speaker. So a lot of people are saying that points to the fact that somebody may be trying to play foul.
Kitili, let me put it this right as the order of priorities in Assembly. Number one, I must concur with the Governor for the first time to understanding of the law, how it speaks itself. There's no any other law that supersedes the Constitution, neither the County Government Act. When you look at Article 178 of the Constitution, it speaks on the mode, how the Speaker can be removed from the office. And the last clause out of the 4 says the Parliament can prescribe a law to fasten up or to hasten the Constitution. Out of that clause from Article 178 gives Parliament powers under Section 11 of the County Government Act on 4 processes. Process number 1, that the move of the motion must have 75% of the signatures from the Speaker. Number 2, the move of the motion must put a notice of motion. Number 3, he puts now the motion before the same after the clerk ascertains that he has 75% of the members. Number 4, you must give a notice to the Speaker to respond to the allegation. So what we did in Assembly on that day, it was very clear that the original standing order had only 4 clauses. But in the previous Assembly amended the standing order to suit to protect then the Speaker. Then we realized as a House that there are things which were amended in the previous standing order which were not in conformity with the law, especially the County Government Act.
That if you amend
let me
the
clarify
standing
this.
orders...
Let me clarify this. It's not only on this that we've moved our procedural motions. Even the current budget of Nairobi City County government, we had to move a procedural motion to reduce the maturity date of a finance budget from 7 days to 1 day. So these are procedural. And a standing order is not a law. Standing order is the rules of the House.
All right, let me ask you this. Doesn't it say that if you amend the standing orders, it can only take effect on the next sitting of that assembly, and you are in recess?
They are on recess. And that's why we said when the Speaker complains that the impeachment was not part of the special sitting, that's not right. Because when the special sitting was gazetted, it was the Speaker herself who gazetted the special sitting. On subject to that, the Speaker ought to have to come before the House Business Committee, which now gives flesh, which is the order of the day. On the day of the HBC, the Speaker didn't come. That's why the Speaker was informed that the order of the day is, number one, to discuss your conduct. Subsequently, the mover of the motion has prerequisite request that he moves a motion to impeach you, and the letter was dispatched to the Speaker's office. Therefore, conforming with Section 11(4) of the Act, it was correct. What we said as a House, procedural motions are norm in the House, even in Parliament. When Parliament moves finance bills, they say, let's reduce this standing order from 7 days to 1 day. It is normal procedural. It's not only exclusively for impeachment.
All right. Madam Arivisa, what do you say to the fact that there are changes to the standing orders to speed this up, and the fact that the Speaker was not in attendance in the Assembly that day?
I am also privileged to be sitting on that House Business Committee. And one of the things that I was able to tell them, and I'm not ashamed to say it here, I said that I believe and know, and you and I know, that the Constitution of Kenya, of which I was part of making in Bomas, it supersedes every other acts of parliament or any other things that would be made by anybody. That very Constitution 50, Article 50, says that there is nobody who can be able to, there are several clauses, but one of them says that somebody should always be given a chance to be listened to. And in that very meeting, I said, whatever we are doing here, we must make sure that Madam Speaker is able to be listened to. And it was then hastened that the letter would be dropped at his office. But you see, we are on recess, so she was not given time to be able to prepare. That very Constitution says that somebody must be able to be given time to prepare and be able to present themselves to an arbitration group. I am in that House Business Committee, and it was very intimidating. And because they know I stand by justice and righteousness, it's not just Madam Speaker. What we wanted here, some of us, and we are in a lot of trouble, is because we wanted that she would be given time to come in the Kamkunji, and we find out if all the allegations that are being leveled against her. That is natural justice. That is one. If the natural justice does not require that somebody be listened to, that we become the judge, we become the jury, then we are headed in the wrong direction as a country. What I see is male chauvinism that does not want any woman that raises up to rise up to become a leader. And this is what happened to Barasa. This is what happened to, that's what is happening to Soleil, and that is what is happening to Mwilu. We are not saying that they have no mistakes, but it looks like when it is a woman, they are even judged before they even present their views. And that is very, very wrong.
Mr. Imotok, your colleague is accusing you of male chauvinism in the House of the Nairobi County Assembly and saying this is what's happening. What do you say to this?
Let me clarify this. That number one, as a member of House Business Committee, the standing order, which is a rules that governs the House, allows you to set a minority report if you don't agree. And I agree, my honorable member Arivisa was part of the standing House Business Committee, which he signed even in the attendance list, we conform with agenda. Number one, we conform with agenda of the day, and we agree as a House unanimously, and if you have an objection, you do a minority report, or you don't sign to it. Number two, the issue of male chauvinism does not appear. I've always said, even in other national cables, it's very simple. Do we agree the Speaker of Nairobi presented herself to Dallas for plastic surgery? Is it yes or no? Did we agree that the Speaker of Nairobi spent more than 1 million of public fund on this? Is it yes or wrong? Did you agree that the Speaker of Nairobi spent $5,500 to pay for a fake degree? Yes or no?
Mheshimiwa, the fact of the matter is that she was not given, she was not listened to, right?
Section 11 4 of the County Government Act says the Speaker, by the way, the governor is very right. He says the process of removing the governor is so rigorous than the Speaker. Because the Speaker is the employee of the Assembly. We voted the Speaker.
Right.
He is our employee. He is not our boss. We make decisions subject the way he leaves us. Let me give an example. As a leader of opposition.
But does she have a right of reply?
Lack of position to take as Assembly. I've done statement before the Assembly where the Speaker blatantly refused to sign and say, no, I cannot sign this. It will burn my fingers. But you see, in the same station where I'm seated today, I said here, is either Speaker Elachi decides to speak of Jubilee or the Speaker of the House. I said here on the same cables. So there's no difference. My stand today, it has remained from the word go consistently. It's not about women.
All right.
We respect our women with all the respect they deserve. But we are saying there are some women who won't take advantage of feminism to make things which are not right. On this hand, you are preaching corruption. On this hand, you are more corrupt than the other. And Kiteli, I've said on this studio, anything that touches on corruption, I will speak as it is. And I've always to be concerned on this. So the Speaker of Nairobi must answer Nairobians these questions.
All right.
And by the way, let me speak about the court order.
All right.
The court order came to us on 7th. The rule of natural justice, as Mheshimiwa Revisa is saying, requires this. If you read the premise of the court order, it says the court assembly stops the process of impeachment. But by the time the court order arrives in the assembly, the impeachment has taken place. The court order does not say that we request you guys to give a right for hearing to the Speaker.
Right.
There's nothing like that.
So it's
we're
null
saying
and void
the court order was taken by... Let me clarify this. Today is the Speaker herself who sneaked into the county assembly, put the cables live, and we were in a Kamkunji as honorable members. We realized KTN was live, Citizen was live, the Speaker was addressing, calling MCAs and MICEs. And then we say, okay, members walked in and say, no, let's go and listen to, we don't have a Speaker in Nairobi. Getting there, the Speaker went ahead and sprayed people with peppers in their eyes, honestly.
All right.
You cannot be a Speaker of a house or a mother to the house if you talk about womenhood. And you carry in your bag.
I want us to talk
pepper,
about what's the way forward. But Madam Revisa, did you vote on Thursday?
In a very open, transparent way. By the way, Mheshimiwa Revisa, by the way, ended up being sick.
I don't know whether you can get me.
Yes, Mr. Kirago, I was coming to you, and a lot is being, you are being accused of a lot of things, and just talk to us about the fact that the Speaker has not addressed the members or Nairobians on the issues, she has been impeached on, and the fact that Madam Revisa is accusing the members that tried to evict her forcefully today of even being inebriated, being offered some drinks before that drama.
Maybe I want to take you a step back and maybe we need to understand what a standing order is. A standing order is they are sort of procedures made by the county assembly that are consistent with the County Government Act and the Constitution to help in the procedures of running the business in the House. They are actually made by the Assembly. This means that they vary from county to county. The standing orders in Nairobi are not the same standing orders in Murang'a or Mombasa. So they are unique to Nairobi. This is not law. These are just procedures that are consistent with the Constitution and the County Government Act. I have not had anybody say where we violated either the Constitution or the County Government Act. Having said that, I've also had my colleague Mary saying that some people were intimidated. This was my motion. I'm only an ordinary MCA just like Mary Aliviza or Peter Imotok or anybody else.
Yes.
I have no power to intimidate or even to deny any privileges to anybody. This is my motion, had nothing to do with anybody. And I had a humongous task to convince 75% of the assembly to understand and to buy in into my motion.
What was the motivation behind the members, your colleagues who went to try and evict the Speaker from our office today?
No. I didn't tell them to evict the Speaker. That was not my duty. They passed the motion on Thursday. All I needed was just a simple 75, not a simple, a humongous 75% to agree to vote for the Speaker. However, 98% agreed with me that there is a problem with the Speaker and they were able to impeach her. The
Right.
speaker had a very, compared to what I was supposed to do, she only had to convince 26% of the assembly, which is about 30 members, either to not vote or to stand with her. She could not do that. And away from all the steps and all the hulabalus about what we should do and what we should not do, if 98% of the people who employed you say that you are no longer fit to lead them, why would you want to fight?
All right, I want to get your closing remarks, all three of you. Let me begin with you, Madam Arivisa. The speaker was impeached by overwhelmingly. I mean, what you're saying to some people does not hold any water. So from where you sit, where does the County Assembly of Nairobi go from here?
The County Assembly, and I want to say this boldly, Madam Speaker is not the problem of Nairobi County Assembly. What happened was, Madam Speaker was brought in from her party, which is Jubilee, when there was an already existing service board. That service board from 2013 remained intact. The one who was the minority leader became the majority leader. And the one who was majority leader became the minority. And the other service board members remained intact. So she became in and she spoiled the soup they were taking. And so she was a spoiler. And they were not going to move forward. And so this is mere intimidation. I stand here very seriously saying that she should have. We had about 2 kamkunjis. The Jubilee had their own kamkunji and we, the NASA, had our own kamkunjis. Then we came together. And all the people that spoke, most of the people that spoke, we said that the speaker must be given the time to be, so that the allegations that we have had.
Thank you, Madam.
But it was never done. So she came in a group that was already set up, and she became a person that is kind of spoiling their soup. So if the ODM and NASA would like to have things to go on, is that the Jubilee needs to remove the majority, and NASA also need to remove the minority, because if that group remains intact, even if another speaker is chosen, it will be the same.
Thank you. Mr. Motok, 30 seconds only. What next?
Let me say one thing. This is a political
office.
Quickly, sir. This is a political office that you must know how to navigate the water of politics. Number 2, I want to tell Arivisa, I'm the leader of opposition in the County Assembly. And on that day of the voting, she came to me and asked me she's sick. She's leaving the precinct. And because she gave me a condition she's sick, I allowed her to move out of the precinct without questioning her vote. Therefore, these are very clear indicators. There are a lot that miss the eye. And we, as the leaders of Nairobi, have said, I brought the motion of the state of the county to be discussed. The same speaker refused to sign.
Thank you. So Mr. Kirago, the motion is yours. She has been reinstated. What next? Do you have a name?
Our lawyers are working on it. Let me put clear. Our lawyers are working on it. And tomorrow they will be in court, assembly lawyers defending the assembly on this. And also look at the court order.
Thank you.
The court order is not accusing the county assembly. Respondent number 1 is a public service board. It's not.
All right, thank you, lady and gentlemen, for joining me. Peter Motok, Minority Leader in the Nairobi County Assembly. Anthony Kirago, Member of County Assembly in charge of Waithaka Ward here in Nairobi. The move of that impeachment motion against Speaker Beatrice Elachi, and nominated MCA Mary Arivisa joining us on this developing big stories, especially for the people of Nairobi. I'm Ben Kitili. Thank you for watching The Big Story tonight. Bye for now. Be sure to join, to stay with us. Akisa Onera is coming up shortly with the KTN Prime. Don't go too far.